Hey everyone, Kane here, and in this video we're gonna inspect one of the fights that I had in Duel Tower. Do keep in mind I am remaking this video. I made it just a few minutes ago, but it was like friggin' 30 minutes long, so I don't really want these videos to be 30 minutes. I'm kind of aiming for about 10 to 20, so we're gonna I suppose compress the information said and more or less just quickly inspect, I suppose, the mistakes that he can fix to improve, because essentially what he has can actually be pretty good. So, first things first, we check the formation. So his formation doesn't really have a dedicated stall side and dedicated burst side. Usually you want 3 lines of heroes and then some heroes on the side or tanks or whatever. Basically having a literal 4 line of heroes is going to diminish the burst side, and you have a lot of weaknesses because many artifacts cannot cover that amount of heroes, and essentially bare heroes are just morale boost in multitude of formations. So if I was a Rakan, basically I would just instantly wipe like majority of these heroes with Rakan archers, because a lot of them don't have proper artifacts or don't have like shields or invincibilities, and it would be morale boost after morale boost after morale boost. So same thing can be said about like a human race, same thing can be said about like a dwarf race or Sylvani. Like placing 4 lines of heroes will never end well. So that is one thing. The second thing, he doesn't have a stall side. Like as I said, you need a dedicated burst side, and then you have like buffers or even slight DPS towards the burst side, and then you have literally like a stall side which is meant to take as much damage as possible, and this is like 2 stalkers and 4 warlocks, and it's not going to cut it. The other thing is the dragon. So his dragon doesn't have any tankiness abilities. He has Aura Blast and he has Blessed Draconic. Now in abilities, I suppose, one moment. Yeah, that's fine. The dragon will be walking forward. The other thing is he needs protection at level 3 instead of the affliction. The reason for that is this gives 20% bonus attack and HP, while this one, since he's using ranged units, gives 10% HP to melee and 30% to troops. And the thing is, he can just level one of those, I suppose, talents to level 30 regardless of having a tier 3 or not. So essentially that would mean a little bit more HP on, I suppose, the army that he may have. The thing is, I would prefer my range to survive a little bit longer, or be able to survive, because in majority of the races, I suppose the range units die rather quite quickly instead of just these buffs. At least in my own circumstances, I value protection 3 more than affliction 3, but I guess it's situational. So that's that. Frontline, he has 3 squads compared to 6 squads of skeletons. They have more health, but his covenant is questionable. What I mean by covenant is, I always say enemy crit rate reduction or healing received, and he doesn't have neither from covenant. He doesn't have resistances from covenant, so in the end, I'm not even sure what kind of buffs he even has. So in the end, it becomes like really freaking questionable, because I believe he had like 40% crit rate reduction and even less healing received and even less resistances. And I don't think I even have resistances on my skeletons on the Covenant. I think maybe 1 on magic resistance or something, and that's pretty much it. And even then, my skeletons have more attack speed and more accuracy, because I have 1 attack speed and 1 accuracy as like the side buff. So questionable in the features what he is upgrading, and likely he should fix some of those stats to actually add some value towards the front line. Then let's inspect the warlocks. So in terms of the damage that they have done, as you can see, his warlocks tier 19 did 3 times less than my tier 18. So do keep that in mind. So if we inspect the stats, the warlocks have 2.3 attack speed per second. Basically, warlocks, Sylvani archers scale better with more attack speed. They don't really perform well with crit rate or crit damage as far as I'm aware, because the magic percent damage or magic HP percent damage or whatever, it doesn't scale with crit rate and doesn't scale with crit damage. Basically, the more attack speed you have, the more HP percent damage you do, and in the end, it makes up for the damage. And the basic physical portion of the damage, which is like this value, then sure, it can scale with crit and critical damage, but even this damage gets reduced to smithereens for, I suppose, multiple of reasons, multiple of resistances or whatever. So that's why warlocks are not really doing that amount of damage, especially physical damage. Basically, it's just the HP damage or whatever that it's getting from this. So, he didn't have a lot of attack speed, and my warlocks have 3 attacks per second, a lot of accuracy, so basically they're barely even being dodged, a lot more crit damage but a little less crit, and a decent amount of magic resistance. As you can see, like, they literally have almost the same amount of magic resistance as my frontline. So yeah, do keep that in mind. So that aside, the fight, let's just inspect the fight and see what happened before we go on to inspecting the heroes, which majority of the problems lie in. So 0.5. So I face burst versus burst. So do keep in mind, Valerie, we have to take consideration on his Valerie. Oh, rather Avril, sorry. She just started be able to, but she never even did anything for 10 seconds in the battle. Then he cast one blizzard and literally my Rufio jumped on her. So as you can see, she slightly got pulled. Or rather, he cast another blizzard. Like, that is pretty much what Valerie and Avril was doing. And the non-CC'd invincibility vanished. And then he tried. Wait, did he just do 3 blizzards? I think I seen 3 blizzards right there. Let me just, we have to retry. Like, if I see 3 blizzards there, excuse me, that would be pretty much bad in terms of his own formation. So we speed up, because the fight was pretty much over by then. He will start casting Avril in just a moment. So one blizzard. So a couple of seconds after, let's see, second blizzard. So he did cast 3 blizzards. So he doesn't have Arcane 8 Avril. Yeah, so he does not have Arcane 8 Avril, which will make up for majority of the damage loss. One moment. So this makes up for the majority of the damage loss since he doesn't have Arcane 8, and I do have Arcane 8. Do keep in mind, majority of the Avril's damage was literally a blizzard in the backline, right? So basically, she was able to wipe a lot of the heroes alongside Rufio, and that is where this damage is coming from. Now let's check his Avril. So a lot of people make this mistake. A lot of people listen to like 50 other people and they say, yeah, Clash of Fate set is good on Avril because she has a lot of skills, she will stun a lot of people. No, this set is probably one of the worthless sets that you can actually have on Avril. I mean, if you don't run a DPS Avril, sure, you can have this set on Avril, but you're essentially you're running majority of the time Arcane 8 Burn Avril, and having this set literally can kill one of your top DPS, especially if you have this. If you have level 70 potential, you have, and I do mean you have to run Arcane 8 Avril, and you have to make a build like this. 1 second. A build like this. This makes your Avril survive, and you get almost like 4 skills off rather quite easy. The thing is, my Avril's Blizzard proc didn't really touch the enemy Avril in general majority of the time, so the invincibility didn't really proc a lot of the times. So basically the invincibility proc from Floras at one point, maybe some damage was avoided, then the dragon invincibility, then it was over. In my own case, I have Flora's invincibility, I have the equipment invincibility, and I have dragon invincibility, right? And the hero has to go through all of them to die. And even she has cast invincibility, right? Do keep that in mind. Invulnerable when casting. So most of the time my Avril doesn't even die until my friggin' whole burst side dies, unless they have some friggin' Avalon type push squad which just overruns her. But that aside, in overall, he has like five-star premium artifacts. He has 5 4-star premium artifacts, and a lot of his stuff is misplaced. So what I can tell you right now, running 4 lines of heroes is not good. He has Sacred Wings on Avalon. So Sacred Wings only benefits his Avril, benefits Nora, benefits Valerie. All the other heroes are dog shit with Sacred Wings. Like, he doesn't need Mira with Sacred Wings, or Floras, or Elana, or Tiadrin, or Mako, right? The thing is, if you put Sacred Wings on Tisafin and Rufio jumps on her, basically you will proc the CC immunity on Tisafin, on Ophidia, if he would even move it here, right? And Tisafin and Ophidia can few hit a Rufio, right? If they focus Rufio, Rufio is gonna be dead in an instant. And the reason why majority of his heroes died was a Rufio in the backline. Now I can show you in my own build, right? So I have this stuff on Elana. Usually she doesn't die, but if she dies, if my burst side succeeds, it's irrelevant whether or not she survives. So basically, a hit or miss build, and if my burst succeeds, I win. If my burst loses, regardless of Elana being alive, I lose. So basically I have Sacred Wings here, covering the DPSs. If Rufio jumps here, right? Basically these two heroes focus the Rufio, Rufio dies, because Tisafin cannot be CC'd, Ophidia cannot be CC'd, and that's pretty much it. So that is the kind of build I have and how it succeeds. He doesn't have that, and majority of his DPS heroes were CC'd, were being pulled, and it ended up Rufio wiping the backline alongside with Avril. So the build, he does have equipment, he does have a Drake set, he does have a 5-star premium artifact, as I said. However, he puts equipment on heroes which don't benefit as much. Like Ophidia doesn't do a lot of damage at our level, does some in some cases, but essentially this would actually be a lot better on Tisafin, especially with a 5-star premium artifact. She can 2-hit Rufios, save your backline, and if you save your backline, you are able to do more reliable damage. And by reliable damage, I mean what is not dead on your field actually performs better. So if you put that Drake set on your Tisafin is able to kill a Rufio. If you put Sacred Wings in the right place, buffing her, then of course your field survives, you have buffs alive, you have DPS alive, and they're dishing out the damage. So that is my take on that as well. She has a tier 10 prism on a level 65 rogue mechanist, whatever, and she has level 70 necromancers, level 70 mage, level 70 Valerie with tier 9s. Now do keep in mind, again, he has 5-star premium artifacts. However, the upgrades of those premium artifacts are always questionable. He doesn't have Warmaker's main, he doesn't have Arcane Rod, but from the amount of premium artifacts, he should look like he is actually purchasing those packs. Like, I'm not joking. He has like 5 4-star and like 5 5-star. So yeah, some premium artifact placement is very, very questionable. The other main thing or main problem I noticed, he never uses Band of Bishop on literally anything. The thing is, even like this particular artifact, right? Hell's Guard, recover 8% on max HP per second for 30 seconds. Basically 240% HP. He has 86 million health. And every tick of that 8% with Band of Bishop will be healing the frontline units around him, right? And he doesn't have it, so he's losing a huge amount of healing. And things like these, those little nuances on the field, which could actually potentially scale his field to perform incredibly well, he is missing. So don't forget that like Band of Bishop is literally a must-have on those heroes which carry a healing ability. Like for example, I have Hellguard on a Balrog. Since I don't have Warmaker's main, I'm waiting for the Lucky Wheel, and I will get it either through Lucky Wheel this month, or I will just purchase it for 20 bucks and place it on a Balrog. And this will either go on Kitano maybe, or I will just add Bane into the formation as well, since I'm not too far off from making a level 70 gladiators. So yeah, majority of the mistakes lie in his formation not having a dedicated burst side, and then something like buffers in the middle, maybe 2 warlocks just right at the corner near the burst side, and like 3 or 4 skeleton warriors on the middle slash stall side. Like again, you can literally view the difference. I have like 6 skeleton warriors on the middle slash left side. These are buffers, debuffers spread across, so that the enemy doesn't one-shot majority of the core buffers slash debuffers in terms of like prisms, hero masteries, whatever. And then I have a dedicated burst side which literally just plows through the front line, the back line, and whatever. And our formations look incredibly varied, and the differences are also there. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Do keep in mind that some heroes are worthless in some formations. So for example, I can easily say Theadrin, Mako, in our case Mira, because Mira doesn't really perform that well. I will always say that Mira is not that good, unless of course you're like a higher core, you're able to make her level 70. Then she can be able to either heal a bit more or tank a bit more or stuff like that with gloves. Level 65 and whatever is not really that good, and usually a waste of experience, a waste of placement on the field. Same as Lunella and Cleo, kind of worthless. If he removes those 4 heroes, he can easily place another skeleton warrior, and even then be a lot tankier on the field and benefit a lot more. So those are nuances that he's kind of missing out on. But yeah, again, formation-wise, hero equipment, hero artifacts, and also some heroes which should be removed or replaced or adjusted in the formation. Because, like, if you don't properly place or properly buff particular heroes, essentially the field becomes weak. The last thing, the 5th thing which he is making a mistake on, is going for might and stamina as a lich. Lich scales with magic and command stats. Basically, he won in like he gained 30% physical damage and 30% more tankiness because he focused might, right? But even that didn't help because my mages got 30% more magic attack, like literally everyone, even the dragon mages and whatever, and 30% more attack speed. Pretty much what kind of, scales or can scale a field out of control. But anyways, that's pretty much it for the video. I suppose do let me know in the comments down below whether or not this video was helpful to you, whether or not you did learn something new. Also, do keep in mind that, again, Azure Dragon in a Lich formation doesn't really work. I will always say it, I tried it again, god awful. Like, you have to have an Onyx Dragon or you have to have a Ruby Dragon, one of the two. Now, the other thing, or rather, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I think I covered, just remembered. But yeah, a decent amount of mistakes. He has the stuff to fix them. It just might take a little bit of time to actually do that. And from what we've noticed, also the hero mastery thing also diminished majority of his damage as well, since it wasn't actually proper. Anyways, that's pretty much it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you learned something new. And if you did, do let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe. Take care and stay safe out there.